if you are taking action, but you're not getting results, work out that RPM plan. What result are you really trying to get? Why do you want to have it? Because you need to anchor your why behind it. Then you've got to, again, look at that massive action plan and say, by doing this action plan, I've stood on the shoulder of giants. I know that results will take place if I do this plan. And then get out and get after it. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Agent Power Huddle. My name is Susan Johnson with Susan Johnson and Associates, and I'm so happy to see you here this morning. I know we got people still logging on. Welcome to all of you that are here already. And remember, if you miss an episode that you can't physically be on Agent Power Huddle, you can hear us back on podcast. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to our website. Then you can Facebook page, and you can pick up the episodes there as well. And I tell you, I say this every time I'm on here. I listen to them myself all the time, and we learn from each other. If you ever have any comments or want to share anything while we're on the call, just, raise your hand or, let me know, and I'll, unmic yourself and come on. I love the interaction and everything. So today we're going to be talking about 10 lessons for resilience and growth. So this is Mindset Monday. And this is so important to be able to set ourselves up for a powerful, powerful week full of high energy, inspiration, and productivity, right? So it's great to have this high energy. It's great to have motivation, but you've got to put something behind it, right? You've got to take action behind it. And we're going to be talking about 10 lessons today of resilience and growth. Think about it. Life can be fun. It can be exciting. It can be massively fulfilling. Sometimes it can also, though, be a little bit complicated and tough. And especially, as agents, as I just mentioned, Darius, it's a business in real estate. It's ever changing. There's stuff going on all the time. We have new things to learn to keep ourselves current. We've got new contracts coming out everywhere. There's always something. So, that being said, just understand that, taking risks and putting yourself out there, continuing to learn and grow is really that key to unlocking, the success that you're seeking. It truly, truly is. Just knowing that we always, goodness, I've been in this 24 years and there's still things I learn every single day. We never know it all. I was at the Board of Realtors last week because we had a buyer representation class there. And it's amazing to me that a lot of people amongst the crowd were 20 plus years veterans that were in this room. And the thing is we're all on an even playing field now. It doesn't really, it's a great to have experience, but I'll tell you what, it's shifting and there's always something new. So my point being is, just keep going, keep showing up just like you are, keep plugging in and asking questions, and know that none of us know it all. We're all learning together. You're not behind. You're not behind. We're all we feel like sometimes we're playing catch up, and we're really not. It's just because it's changing all the time. So you need to shift and change along with it. I've read some excellent articles on this, on these life lessons, and I really felt like it was a good time to bring them in today, especially, after going to that Board of Real Estate meeting where we had a few hundred agents there and we were all sharing and whatnot. So the first life lesson I like to talk about is this. It says, you can either be safe or successful. I'm pausing on that purposely. Safe, play it safe, or be successful. What does that mean? Well, those who play it safe they usually have a hard time. Why is that? You think playing it safe might mean taking the easy road. You don't typically get very many results that way, do you? Shake your head. No, you don't. And the reason why, guys, is because you're not taking enough risks. Have you heard that before? Not taking enough risks. The more risks you take, the more you may fail, and that's okay. Remember, we learned last week, and we learned failure. We're going to get into that today also. Failure is just another learning lesson. We got to fail our way forward. The more failures means you're taking more risks. It's a good thing. Taking more risks. Some of you guys I haven't seen, and some of them, I've been doing this for a long time on the Agent Power Huddle, but I'll talk about a pattern interrupt. I'm a huge Tony Robbins follower. I don't know if you listen to Tony Robbins, but years ago, I did his workshop. But I didn't understand the whole firewalk thing. So I came home and I missed it. And then the next time I went back, I went, oh my gosh, now I understand why you do these things. You're taking a risk. It's about a mindset of breaking through and doing something called a pattern interrupt in your life. A pattern interrupt, and it could be anything. For me, what I did, I replaced that firewalk and did a skydive. I'm not saying you have to go out and do a skydive, everybody, but whatever it takes. Did you do it? It's amazing. But anyway, what happened to me in that skydive and if you listen to any of my other Power Huddles, I've talked about this before on some of them, but what it was going up in the plane for me was the scariest part. Once we jumped out, it was this free fall that was like floating. And it was so freeing. And when I landed, it was such a great experience. I don't need to do it again because it was such a great experience. But what it made me do was I'm thinking, man, that was a pretty high risk. But also, it made me trust myself a little bit more. It made me think, you know what? I'm going to do some different things in my life instead of doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same kind of results. I'll try some new things. I'm going to take some further risks. And the more risks I take, it's interesting how my business grew. Opportunities started showing up too, by the way. Lots of opportunities. So whatever risks you do, whatever pattern interrupt you take in your life, these things will continuously help you to grow. So play it safe or be successful. Take more risks, try new things, and continue to pattern interrupt in your life so that you can continue that growth trajectory. All right. You'll also learn to trust yourself as you do these things. And if something doesn't work out, then you've got some life lessons there too. The second one I'm going to talk about, which is a kind of a sad one, but I'm going to bring it up anyway because it is one of the life lessons. And it's very important to realize that you never know which day is going to be your last. All right. We're not going to live in this sadness moment for a minute, but I am going to go here because it is one of our life lessons. And so I just lost a dear friend of mine. In fact, she was my executive assistant for 7 years. I lost her just a few months ago, to breast cancer. And she was only a few years older than me. I wake up this morning and a close friend of ours, in fact, a lot of people on Age of Power Huddle probably know her. She posted herself on Facebook, but I won't say the name anyway. But anyway, her husband passed away on Friday of a massive heart attack. I mean, they were young. They're probably 20 years younger than me. I mean, it's scary. We just do not know our timeline. We just don't. And what is important to understand about that is don't hold things back. Make sure you're telling the people that you love them. Make sure you're seeing your kids, your family, your mom, your dad, or whoever it is. Make sure that you're spending that time because sadly, folks, we just don't know. That is a life lesson. And it was kind of a depressing thought, but the lesson is embracing the now. Mother's Day, I felt very bad because my mom is up in a veterans home because her husband passed away, but she's up in a veterans home and she's about 2 hours away, and I didn't bring her down for Mother's Day, and I was in tears on Mother's Day because I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom's 86 and she's still here, and she's up in the veterans home. Now they were doing a luncheon and everything, but I didn't embrace it. I said, no, there will not be another Mother's Day that I don't somehow get her down with us because I don't know how many more Mother's Day we've got left, and my mom is still here. Am I making the point? So that life lesson is really about embracing the now. Making sure that your loved ones know that they're loved, making sure you're spending the time that you need to wherever you need to be and not holding back the words you need to say, friendships, family, whatever it is. And also in your business, let's talk about business too, that you're not going, I can do that tomorrow. I know I want to do that. I know everybody tells me I should be doing that. But you know what? I'll start next week. But you know what? That next week may not be there. And are you leaving a legacy for anybody? Are you working on leaving a legacy? What are you doing? And embrace it. Embrace the now. All right. So that's that for life lesson number 2. Life lesson number 3, though, the easy life is not necessarily the best life. Could you give me a thumbs up? You agree with that? Easy life, look, a lot of us have challenges. And it's funny when you start seeking and going around people, this Agent Power Huddle is such a great place for this. We have different hosts every day. You're going to connect with different people. And you can always, as I say in every episode, reach out to any one of us. You can message us and we'll get back to you. Here's the thing. When you start finding people and surrounding yourself with people, where you want to go, somebody else has done more than you, and at every level, doesn't matter. And standing on the shoulder of giants is one of my favorite quotes. I used it last week about, finding the people who've done something that you're seeking out to do. You don't have to recreate the wheel for everything. Okay. Then learn from them. Ask the questions. The easy life is not necessarily the best life. And so when you see somebody that's done what you want to do or having the results you want to get, ask questions. Go deep. They may make it look like it's easy, but then you see, like I have behind me here, everything has to take place under the surface before you get that result, right? I love having this because it's going to a good fit. So, it may look simple, but maybe it's not easy, and you just have to go deep, ask the questions, and find the roadmaps it's going to take for you to get the results that you're looking for. And then have some patience. And we talked about that last week too. Patience is not my virtue, but I know and understand why that is so important to take the specific actions we want to get results in. So don't just try to find the easy way out all the time. Work for systems, strategies that are proven results, and implement those. And if you're not sure how to implement those, you ask questions. In my first few years of business, my business grew really fast. And actually, my first year was horrible. I was quit 100 times. But then it grew really fast. But it was amazing to me how many times I would say to the people in my office, you have questions, come see me. And so few people come see me. So few people would come and reach out. I reach out and ask questions all the time. In fact, I'm a broker now, but I've got lots of other broker friends in the area. And we're not even with the same companies that will call each other, because we don't always know it all. And although we might think we have the answer, we might go, I need to bounce this off with somebody. And it's okay to do that. So just knowing that that's okay. Give yourself permission to say, you know what? I need some help with this. And you know what? I know somebody else might be able to help me, and call them and ask. You'd be shocked at how many people will help you. All right? That's life lesson number 3. Life lesson number 4 is about your journey. And I really like to emphasize every one of these, by the way. So the journey is more important than the end. What does that mean? Of course, your success and whatever results you're trying to reach. But guess what? Every time you get to a result, there's going to be another level, right? You're going to continue to grow. That's what growth is all about. That being said, your journey is more important than that end result. The end result is important. We know we want to get our result. You should always be looking and knowing what your end result is. But you can't not enjoy the journey along the way. My oldest son was infamous. He's gotten way better now that he's become a dad. And he runs his own business. But, there's some people that are always looking for the someday. They're like, you know what? Right now, I can't go enjoy that. I can't, because I'm in the grind, right? I'm in the grind every day. I'm in the grind. I mean, we're all in the grind. You also need to take time to enjoy the process along the way. There's a million different ways, you guys, and you listen to all these Agent Power Huddles to be successful in real estate. So for some people, it could be the geographic farming. I talked in depth about that last week. That some people, it could be picking up the phone every day. I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty good on the phones now, but in the beginning of my career, that was the only way I thought I could be successful. I probably would not be in the business today. Started out going to Mike Ferry coaching years ago. I'm like, oh man, many of you know Mike Ferry. His behavioral style of being that very ID, very direct. I mean, it's like, boy, in your face. And he's all about on the phones for 3 hours a day. Some people are brilliant at that, and they love it. They love it. For me, I didn't love it. Right. So when I found farming, getting out into the communities and getting my results in that way. And for other people, it could be online lead generation. For other people, it could be community events. My point being is the journey of finding what you like to do, finding your passion, because you need to roll out of bed every day excited about doing it. Because if you're not, that's another problem. Your results will not be showing up if you don't enjoy the process along the way. Does that make sense? Really, really think about that. Because if you're struggling in your business at all, or even if you're doing well, but you're like, you're not excited each day, you're not juiced to get up and go and do your daily routine, there's something's going on. There's a disconnect in there. So I really want you to consult with any one of us, consult with a coach, consult with your broker, but really look at your daily action plan, your growth plan, and say, what is it that I can adjust that's going to juice me to enjoy my journey while I'm doing all this? Okay? While I'm doing it. The last week's Asian Power Huddle, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it if you could. It's only 30 minutes. Our topic was perseverance. And so for years, I did farming, and then I started doing a lot of internet lead generation, and then I led brokerages. So I got out of the farming, started leading brokerages, yada, yada. Now I've started the farming again, and I'm doing a lot of it myself. And yes, I can hire people, but there's multiple reasons and levels why I'm doing it myself. And one of the reasons is that it's getting me, first of all, I love walking in the neighborhoods. I get out there and I'm using an app called Strava. And in the Strava app marks so I'm walking 6 to 7 miles in a day. And I'm doing it early in the morning. When I'm done here, I'm into my farming stuff. I'm done in a couple hours. All right. So then I'm on to my, scheduling my appointments, which I do, et cetera, for the rest of the day. You can do it. And it's just about, a lot of people will hire somebody else. And I do occasionally if I need some help. Farming, but I'll tell you, whatever is going to make you juiced. Am I hitting this home with you? Am I pushing it through? I can't emphasize how important that is because, well, hopefully I am right now, but it's about the long game, right? Somebody could get on the phones for 3 hours a day and do it for a few months, and that's great, but can you do it for 10 years? Can you do it for, what I'm saying? And be happy? Maybe you can. There are people that do that, by the way. They love it. You find you. All right. So don't forget about that journey. Someday, it doesn't show up. All right. And you'll also be nurturing those relationships along the way. And that's been the fun thing about farming. So find your thing and understand how important that life lesson is. All right. Next, it doesn't really matter where you start. Okay. It doesn't really matter where you start. Like I said, I started with Mike Ferry telling me to pick up the phone for 3 hours a day. I don't know, I just don't know whether I'd still be in the business because it's just not my thing. I mean, like I said, now I do that a lot more because of being a team leader and running brokerages and doing all that. It forced me to get on the phones, and I learned a lot of the scripts and how to convert the leads and when the leads come in and all that. But I'll tell you, you need to start something. Many people have the on your mark, get set syndrome, I call it. On your mark, get set. I've got to have this happen before I can actually do that. I've got to have this kind of piece of technology before I can actually do that. I've got to have X many sales before I can actually get on the phone and feel confident. You know what? You got to go. On your mark, get set, go. Don't just stay in on your mark, get set. That's another big life lesson. Perfectly imperfect. When I started shooting videos, it was the same thing. You're like, oh, my hair is like that. My makeup really, oh, I look old. Oh my gosh. Why wasn't video around when I was younger, thinner, and cuter? The video comes out and now I'm 60. It's like, well, I can come up with a million different reasons that, that's not going to work for me. On your mark, get set, just go. Perfectly imperfect, because as you start doing and taking the action, you're going to notice that your irons are sharpening. Okay, you're getting better and better and better and better. Your skills are improving because you're actually taking action. So here's another quote. You don't have to be great to start. However, you do have to start to be great. Okay. I know we got some cameras that just turned off. So if you could turn them on, it's just nice to see your faces. But either way, I hope you're still listening. I know you're still on here. I see a lot of people on the call. So love when you turn your cameras on and get to look at you and wave and everything else. All right. Life lesson number 6 is about discipline. Discipline is the key to achieving goals. All right. One key. There's lots of keys. Usually they all come together, open up the door. But discipline is a key. It's a huge part of attaining your goals is discipline. But here's the thing. Tony Robbins says this best. Most people view discipline in a negative connotation because we were raised as children, that we're getting disciplined, that it's a bad thing, that we're getting in trouble, right? But if you can shift your mindset and look at discipline in a whole nother way, you're going to truly understand that people who are very successful, who are disciplined, they love this word. Why do they love the word discipline? Because discipline, it actually means freedom. Okay, so I want from this day forward, I want you to think discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals freedom. It's synonymous with getting results. Discipline is synonymous with getting results. And with results, increased income, increased self-esteem, increased motivation, increased fulfillment. You see why discipline, once you really change the way you look at it, will change your life. Discipline. My husband, he's always said, it's a huge compliment. He's like, man, every day I'm up, early in the morning, I'm doing my morning routine. He's like, man, you just got this. I said, first of all, I love doing it, but it started out having to discipline myself to do it. Now it's like, I love doing. Why do I love doing? Because I love the results I see. I love how I feel when I'm done with my morning routine. The books that I'm reading, the Zoom calls that I get on, the accountability things that we do, the whole thing comes together when the results show up. Makes sense? You're listening to these Age of Power Huddles. This is the kind of stuff that juices you. It really, really is. There's a couple great friends of mine that, we can only lead people so far. Then they've got to take the actions themselves. But there's a couple of my really great friends who their production has gone down because they're not taking the actions they used to take. And now it's kind of like, you've kind of gotten out of your routine. And I can see that it's made them lose some confidence. Like, well, no, the market's changed. Well, everything changes. We all know that. You have to shift and change with it. So I'll take these Age of Power Huddles and literally tag them. Watch this 30 minutes, not because it's me talking, because the message that it has behind it. Every one of us. Sometimes these Age of Power Huddles, I end up every time I end an Age of Power, I'm like, man, I feel juiced myself, but hopefully you guys do. Hopefully I'm bringing it through the screen to you. But discipline is a big part of that. Once you become disciplined, you become unstoppable. You truly do. And you notice how the passion, you hear it in my voice, I hope you do, because the passion really will be behind it. And that's why it's so important, going back to that other one about the journey of finding what you really enjoy doing. Because when you're doing something that's really not your joy, that it's really hard to get that passion, give you that extra punch. Right. And there's many different things. So don't think, if you're doing something every day and you're going, this just isn't working for me. Well, why? Is it something you're really not enjoying? It's hard to have that discipline if you're really not having the passion behind it. It all comes together. Number 7 is about the failure. Failure is good. All right. Remember we talked about the Michael Jordan quote last week as well. Last week episode, and really kind of does blend in here today. But, how we fail our way forward. You're not taking enough risks if you're not failing along the way. And with those failures, they actually become lessons. You start seeing milestones that you're stepping on, you're learning along the way. And that's how you get those successes, by taking enough of those risks. Failure is good. Learn it. Change the word to not failure, but to lesson. Okay. The exact opposite happens. The more that you take these risks, the more that you fail along the way, the more learning experiences we have. What's going to happen? We start gaining strength from them. We start getting more self-confidence. So you think that with more failures, you have to start feeling bad about yourself. Well, quite differently if you start really looking at them as lessons. Okay, well, that didn't work. So guess what? This is going to work. Stand on the shoulder of that giant again. I better climb up there. I better look again because that didn't work. So I better look again. What is it that works? What did I miss? Course correct. That's the course correct I'm talking about. Okay? Successful people will have lots of failures, and they actually embrace them because they understand that that's how they're going to continue to grow. Number 8, big one. They're all big. You think they're all big? Yeah, I think they're all big. Don't give yourself excuses. Oh God, this is another great one. Tony Robbins again. You can have reasons or results. You can't have both. Quit talking to yourself and giving yourself softeners. What are those? Oh, I can start tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I need that. As soon as I get plugged into that program and it's, as soon as this X website or as soon as this happens, then I'll start. It's okay. I didn't make all my calls today, or I didn't get out there and get my farming done today, but I can double up on it tomorrow. You're softening things. You see how you're telling yourself these stories and you're making up excuses. That's all they are. And the moment you see that and you recognize, wait a minute, that's an excuse. Stop it. Just stop. Stop the excuses. Stop telling yourself these stories that are blocking you. It's self-sabotage, guys. It's self-sabotage when we put these blocks up because we are telling ourselves, I'll get to it next week. No, take that. And by the way, every time you take action, your confidence shows up. Every time you take action, you feel good about yourself. That's why if you are geographic farming or even your phone goal, that's why we have you do it early in the morning. Because if you can manage your day, hey, if you're not used to manage your day up to 12 noon. Work there first. Your morning routine, your lead generation, your lead follow-up by 12 noon. Just take that block right there. Get it managing consistency every day up till 12 noon. You're going to be shocked with how your business and how your life starts changing. Because when you've got that all done, now you're standing taller because of the accomplishment, because the action steps you've taken. Do you think you get better results when you're doing your follow-up after you've completed some of your other tasks and you feel confident? You're starting to get better results because you're sounding stronger, you're performing stronger, you're in your zone. Okay, there's something about getting in the zone too. So don't give yourself excuses. Make sure that you manage that day, especially up till 12 noon. That's you taking ownership. You taking ownership of your life, of your business. It could be working out. It could be, I'm talking about business, but believe me, it goes into every area. All right. Some of my best production when I did hire an executive assistant, it takes a while. We get to this. There's a point in your business, by the way, that you're growing, and then you're on this treadmill because you're doing it alone. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm now working 24/7, right? Well, that's not good because then your family life, right? So that point, that's when the leverage starts to happen. We talk about this in a lot of our agent power huddles too. So you need to know where that tipping point is that you do need to bring in some help, right? When you bring in the help, then you're home, you've got your family life as well. So I'm not saying sacrifice, but there are times you do need to make some sacrifices in this business for that growth, right? And you're doing it for your family. Number 9, we're almost wrapping up here. Surround yourself with the people you want to be like. So that's your tribe. That is your tribe. Yeah, your tribe is here in Agent Power Huddle, by the way. And tribe doesn't, you have family, friends, you've got business people in your office. But I'll tell you, a lot of my tribe is across the nation. I've had really across the nation. I've got a new friend of mine who's in my coaching group with me. She's up in Northern California. I'm in Southern California. We're on the phone our business models are very similar. We talk all the time. We've become very good friends. In fact, her daughter's in San Diego. We're going to get together for lunch in San Diego when she comes down to see her daughter. But it's amazing how many people you meet in this organization and, in not just your brokerage, but in Agent Power Huddle and coaching groups. And these become your tribe. And what does that tribe really mean? What does it really, really mean? Well, let me explain to you what that looks like. Take this down as notes or listen back and write it down. What does a growth environment look like? Okay. Other people are ahead of you. Other people are ahead of you. There's going to be points you've done more than other people. Other people have done more than you. It doesn't even matter. We can learn from each other in every area. But other people are ahead of me. You are continuously learning. You're continuously challenged. If you're in a really good tribe, they're challenging. You're challenging yourself all the time because you want to continue that growth. Your focus is forward. Okay, you're focusing forward. You're not looking in a rearview mirror in the past. Focusing forward. Your atmosphere is affirming. You've got things around you that are affirmations of positivity. It's affirming. You're getting out of your comfort zone, taking more risks. This is a growth environment. You wake up excited and pumped and juiced like we just talked about, right? Failure is not an enemy to you. You understand that you're taking more risks and you're learning. Others around you are all growing too, so you're able to, celebrate each other's successes. That's a growth environment. People are desiring the changes. They're embracing the change. They're not scared of the changes. All right. We're not scared of these changes that are happening with this new NAR settlement. We're all embracing and going, okay, so we have to learn, we have to grow, we have to change. We're doing it together. Remember in the beginning, before we got on the call, I was talking to a couple of you and I said, I was at the Board of Realtors when I said, we're on an even playing field here. It doesn't matter how many years we've been in the business. This is new for every one of us. We're embracing the change together, bounce ideas off of each other, desire that change. When you're in a growth environment, that growth is modeled by everybody around you, and it's expected for all of you to be growing as well. The expectations you put on each other. Okay? Nobody's going to ever want more for me than I want for myself. Nobody's going to, my expectations are, my standards and my expectations are here for myself. I don't expect anybody else, but they know them because I'm verbal about where I'm going. And I've got some lofty goals. And sometimes it can be embarrassing. Maybe I'm not reaching it, but that's okay. We all know that we're in a growth environment to support that growth. Make sense? So if you need to listen back to that, I want you to jot those things down, because the growth environment, you hear tribe, you hear growth environment, you hear surround yourself with people, but very rarely do you hear what does that really mean. I just gave you multiple reasons of things that really mean. So you need to ask yourself the question, are you really in that environment? Are you really in that environment? And the last one, we're going to wrap it up right now. Don't wait for anything. You'll be wasting time. All right. Remember the quote, good things come to those who wait. BS on that. Good things come to those people who have prepared and those people who are taking massive purposeful action. Okay? Massive purposeful action. Now, there are waiting like farming, but I'm taking action. We're taking action, purposeful action. We have an action plan. If you're not sure what that looks like, Tony Robbins, I use it all the time, the RPM program. What results do you want to get? Why do you want to get them? Is your purpose? And what is your action plan to get there? So this Agent Power Huddle is only 30 minutes. What I'm trying to do for you every time I get on this call is give you some tangible, tactical strategies to implement. So sometimes you have to listen to these again, because look at that growth environment. I just gave you a list of things. It's easy to get on here and say, get a great tribe. It's easy to say, surround yourself with great people. But what does that really look like? List them out and see if you're really in that environment. If you're not, course correct. Okay? If you are taking action, but you're not getting results, work out that RPM plan. What result are you really trying to get? Why do you want to have it? Because you need to anchor your why behind it. Then you've got to, again, look at that massive action plan and say, by doing this action plan, I've stood on the shoulder of giants. I know that results will take place if I do this plan. And then get out and get after it. All right. Hopefully these have inspired you today. And you're going to already set yourself up by being here and listening to this today for a fabulous week full of high energy, inspiration, purpose, okay, productivity. Go get them, everybody. Have a great week. And I'll see you next month. We'll have a pretty busy July. All right. Take care, everybody. Go get them. Thanks for coming on.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.